Warning, the following stunts are done by trained professionals. Actually, we're not trained. Robbie is just a dumbass and decided to do a drunken fantasy football podcast. The thoughts, opinions, and takes are ours and ours only. It is not our fault if you lose in fantasy football or sports gambling. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah, let's go! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday night, which means it is Rumboyz After Dark. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the most lit NFL and fantasy football podcast that there is to ever grace a Friday night time slot, okay? We run it on our own damn time. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure that you subscribe. If you're new, hit that subscribe, all right? Dive off in the live chat. It's about to get lit, all right? It's about to be a wild fucking night. I cannot wait. Let's get this started really quick. Yo, my heart, you need to go and get you a GLD, all right? Get like GLD. Get your GLD. Get fresh like me. I'm rocking my commander's chain. Hey, yo, let's take them to the yacht. Show them what we got.
Hop out in Miami when no land, I got no understanding. Out of here, I'm burning, no turn me on, you can't understand it. In the club, posted up, they lit up, no matter where I'm standing. Drop GLD for the Cuban link, yeah, you see it there. Might spaz out on some taller shit, no on zero tolerance. Money conversations ain't hard to relate, it's hollering. See my net, they acknowledge it, good friend, go where you're not.
Without further ado, let's get into the cast and the crew. What a pimps in the crib, man. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop the mic, FF. What's good, bro?
What up?
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's bring the redneck on.
Next up, stepping up to the mic. Give it up for the homie representing the dirty South. Gator J.
Chomp, baby. Chomp. How you doing?
Let's go.
I only want to see the chomp when they start winning.
Hey. We did win one. And that's all that matters. At start of the streak, we got to start a new one.
That was God damn it. Ladies and gentlemen, last but certainly not least, actually, there's going to be one more person joining, but last but certainly not least, this block.
That one.
Give it up for Jeff.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's good, gentlemen? Let's have us a good night. Let's have some fun. It's going to be a great show. I'm super excited. We have a lot that we have to talk about. A lot's been happening across the NFL, a lot of headlines. Make sure you guys follow the whole entire cast. Buy our name tags. All of our name tags are our handles where you can follow us on all social media. So get to it. All right. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. I've already said that before. Check out all of our sponsors. Links down below. Links. Can I get y'all gentlemen down there? Boom. There we go. There we go. Where those gentlemen are pointing. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the rough boys and girls want to do. Let's have a fucking fantastic show.
Someone's on mute, Gator.
Yeah, Gator's on mute.
Because I was actually trying to cough. I was trying to be professional, and then I fucked that up, so that's cool. But Mike said Eagle Rare out the bottle tonight. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
That's a bourbon drinking when you can see and know what it is without even seeing the label.
What up, Albert? What up, Daniel? Lance, what's up? What's up, Jeff? I see you up in the chat, bro. Leafs, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead. Let's get into tonight's show sheet. We do have to talk about last night's game, which we were live for. So Gator and I so they kind of know a little bit of our sentiments. Following last night's Thursday night football game, thoughts on the New York Jets, both offensively and defensively, and did we see the New England Patriots that we've kind of already been expecting to see during the course of last night? They looked good throughout the first two games, but they were brought back down to earth. I want to get you gentlemen's thoughts. Mike.
I'm going to be a gentleman. I will let the Jets fan go first.
Who's wearing a fucking Kyler Murray jersey.
Which is part of the reason I almost didn't let him go first.
That's the reason why I wasn't going to let him go first.
I had sauce on yesterday. Today's Kyler Murray for when they play on.
You weren't here yesterday, so I saw it. I didn't see it on Instagram.
So for last night's game, I think the Patriots can be summed up in one sentence. It's probably the greatest sentence ever spoken in football. They are who we thought they were. And we all knew the first 2 weeks were kind of a fluke. There's a couple stats that kind of really jump out to me when you want to talk about the Patriots, like in a nutshell. Ramondre Stevens has 224 rush yards through 3 games. 151 of those are after contact. That offensive line is atrocious. This man cannot get out of that backfield without being touched. And they've allowed almost 800 passing yards through 3 games. Only 4 yards per attempt on the entire offense, and they are 14 of 42 on third down on offense.
On the O-line.
Like, it's bad. Like, it is not good over there in Patriots land. We all knew this was kind of how this team was going to go down. We didn't see any star receivers. Hunter Henry's probably the best person they got. Jets shut them down. Sauce was out there. Them linebackers and that front seven were doing absolute work. Even without Reddick and Jermaine Johnson gone, Will McDonald's stepping up like an absolute beast. He has 5 sacks for the first couple games. Absolutely fantastic. The Jets, though, I'm glad we won. I'm very happy we won. I'm still a little concerned about this offense. And one of the most concerning things about this offense is we have 660 yards total offense. 365 are after the catch. If you watched the game last night, you saw a lot of those passes were short. Aaron Rodgers didn't push that ball down the field at all. Conklin had almost all of his yards after the catch. He ran a little 3-yard hitch, boom, and then he took off for 10, 11, 12 yards. We saw that all night long. Granted, Christian Gonzalez shut down Garrett Wilson. He's probably maybe the best corner in football right now. That is definitely a problem. We only have 8 catches over 20 yards in 3 games. That's an issue, considering the fact 2 of our number one.
Can you just get the fact that y'all motherfuckers won last night? I understand the hypocriticalness, but accept the fact that y'all won.
Yeah, we won against a team that is horrible. This team should be gunning for a top 3 pick. And I'm also saying that, yeah, we won last night, but there's some problems. We only have 8 catches over 20 yards in 3 games. Look at who we played. Like, we should have been a lot better than that. The defense, though, is on point. 14 sacks, 11 pass breakups. They're doing great. This offense, it's going to start moving with Aaron Rodgers. I'm just very concerned if he doesn't start pushing that ball down the field, this offense is going to be really easy to stop, minus maybe the most dangerous backfield in the NFL right now with Hall and Allen.
I mean, that's kind of what you expect from an Aaron Rodgers team, though. We saw this when he was in Green Bay. They don't rush the ball down the field. They take their time, and he takes what the defense gives him. That's what you're going to get with an Aaron Rodgers team, right?
I mean, that's what he was doing in Green Bay. But when you have the receivers in Wilson and Mike Williams, who that's their sole purpose, they got to find a way to push
the ball. Completely different offensive personnel. He has a lot more weapons. He also has his butt buddy in Alan Lazard. He has his butt buddy in Nathaniel Hackett that's calling the plays. And we know there's probably going to be some favoritism here or there of whether or not to give Lazard maybe more targets, maybe what Lazard naturally deserves in most offenses. If Lazard was anywhere else, then he would not be a leading receiver. On top of that, you have a 2-headed monster now in the backfield with Hall and Allen. So you're able to do a lot more different things that Aaron Rodgers honestly never was really able to do before. So like I said earlier, I understand being hypercritical, you being a Jets fan. Shut the fuck up and enjoy the win.
I am enjoying the win, and I like the fact that we have 36 first downs through passing. That is awesome. We haven't had a quarterback be able to pull that off since Mark Sanchez.
Since who?
Mark Sanchez. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I remember his highlight. One highlight.
This is right at the Diddy party special. I'm dead. The memes of Jacoby getting stabbed and shot protecting May was hella funny. I'm dead. Calvin, what's good? What up, broskies? A-Rob, heard about the next reason to come visit. Garden of the Gods sounds awesome. Garden of the Gods is dope. That's where I like to go. Just drive through, smoke a little blunt speed. But outside of that, there's other shit to do. Like, that would be something that we would do for like 20 to 30 minutes. And then after that, I would have you at some ratchet ass titty bar. Again.
Didn't you already do that?
With Diddy.
Yes. Gator, your take on last night's game.
Yeah, I'll make it real quick.
You were live, so.
Yeah, I'll make it real quick, though. I think the biggest thing for me, yes, I'm still not worried about the running back situation there in New York. You still saw Breece Hall get his. Braylon Allen's going to get a little bit more. Is he flex worthy when it comes to fantasy? Probably now. You saw it 2 weeks in a row. The biggest takeaway for me, though, and I think I might have said this last night, was, when you look at Ramondre Stevenson, for the first 2 weeks, he got more than 20 attempts both games. And then over 70% of snap share. Last night, less than 50% snap share, 6 carries. That's it. That's a huge discrepancy between week 1 and 2 to week 3 for me. Big takeaway there.
I can agree. I think that the Jets definitely showed a lot more of their dominance and their assertiveness. Pat showed us, like I wrote the question. But
the thing, Robbie, and I know I said this last night, is when you have a bad, horrible offensive line, what's the best way to disguise that? A good running game. They did it the first 2 weeks. Yes, I understand the Jets are a better defensive front than what they faced in the first 2 weeks, but also when you look at what the Jets gave up the first 2 weeks, they gave up a ton running. And for whatever reason, Gerard Mayo and Van Pelt decided to give up on the run early.
Because fuck your fantasy team, said Ramondre. Mike, your thoughts with the cat behind you.
All right, I'm going to start with the freaking Patriots. So this just sums up the Patriots night. Besides Ramondre getting me 0.7 points in the league, and then another league getting me like bad, whatever the case may be. So when I was about to do the graphic today, I couldn't find the picture I wanted exactly. So the first thing I did after I did my first part of search for the photo is I typed in photos from last night's Patriots Jets game. That's all I typed in the Google image search. You would have thought it would have been a bunch of plays, from the Jets. The second photo was a Patriots photo. It sums it up because it wasn't even Ramondre getting tackled. It wasn't Pop Douglas on one of his catches. It wasn't Hunter Henry. It wasn't even Jacoby Brissett. It was freaking Drake May getting decleated at the end of the game when he came in getting sacked. That's just the detriment. That's just shows exactly how bad it's going for this team. The number one photo you search on Google is freaking Drake May getting sacked when he didn't even start the freaking game. It's going exactly the way we want. Ramondre, usage great, but like Jeff said, when all his yards are coming after contact, that offensive line sucks more than I think we even thought it did.
Oh, no. I mean, especially after losing Morgan Moses. Morgan Moses is probably going to be out for a couple of weeks.
Well, Morgan Moses is on the Jets, so that doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The Jets. My fault.
So going to the Jet side, I am really yes, Rodgers, there's, he didn't throw deep, all this. Yeah, you threw, like, I get your point about, Lazard being his freaking new Randall Cobb and blah, blah, blah. I get all that crap. But I don't care about Aaron Rodgers except for the fact that maybe Garrett Wilson is going to be something finally. What I care about is what I put on the damn thumbnail. And that's why I put it on the thumbnail. Braylon Allen and Breece Hall. Is it time to say that we could literally every week, Gator, start 2 Jets and confidently in your lineups, one as a starter and one as a flex?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I brought it up, because I thought that's kind of where you were going to go with this. I mean, when you look at what Braylon Allen has done over just the last 2 weeks alone, 7 touches or 7 attempts last week, 33 yards, a touchdown on the ground. This week, 11 attempts for 55 yards. I mean, it's pretty solid, and he's also doing it through the air.
Yep.
There is a world where both of these guys are fantasy relevant. On
11.8 points on my bench is Braylon Allen.
Yeah, but there's a world out there with both of these guys are relevant on the same fantasy team. Of course, Braylon Allen being in the flex position. But my worry is, or the reason I say this is, when you have Braylon Allen is going to get a series, at least one series, probably the third series of the game, every game, right? Yeah. Where I was worried was sitting there going, is he going to take over? Is he going to eat too much into
No.
And that's what I was trying to figure out. And I came to the conclusion that I'm not even going to worry about him. And then last night when we saw it, I said this to Robbie and to the viewers last night. It was, when you look at what Breece Hall's done over the last 3 weeks, he's averaging 16 attempts on the ground, 16 attempts on the ground, 16 attempts on the ground. And it is the absolute perfect committee for these two. The perfect committee for these.
And that's what I was just trying to express. I was trying to express, hey, this works for them.
No, it works. But how far does it drop with Breece being drafted as the number 3 running back? How far does it drop on 6 possible?
Maybe. Because now but the issue there for me is the touchdowns for both of them. As long as Braylon's not going to sit there and vulture them, right? We already, one of the worrisome things for me was with Aaron Rodgers does not like the check down. We don't think he likes rookies. He checks the ball down to these two. Braylon Allen, a rookie. He checks the ball down. I mean, Braylon Allen.
I think that's because of their abilities in order to get open from
100%. But it's also
not, because even though he's not a rookie, he's also kind of still trying to warm up to Garrett Wilson. Like, right. Rodgers has this weird old school style of play of like, oh son, you just got in the league, earn yours.
Right, but Rodgers brought it up last night post-game, and he said flat out, the defenses that they have played the last 3 the 3 games this year have all keyed on Garrett Wilson. Number 1, that's why Lazard has made his mark, right? But then he's getting these checkdowns. What this is doing by the teams defending Garrett Wilson the way they are, okay, sucks for Garrett Wilson and for us for fantasy that have Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
but it's forced Rodgers into the check down to Braylon Allen, to Breece Hall, and guess what's happening? They're capitalizing. They're producing. Guess who's fucking happy? Every fucking Jets fan, including fucking Aaron Rodgers. He's now going to be able to trust these guys. So now week 3, we're sitting here looking at, okay, week 3, did we think we'd be having this conversation in week fucking 3? Maybe week 9. Maybe week 9.
We did think that Braylon Allen was going to come along eventually. We didn't think that.
Not week 3. We were actually having this conversation in week 2, but this is now week 3 because they played on Thursday night. But this is a very viable offense. Jeff, I know you're a Jets fan. The cynical Jets fan of you is like, well, fuck it. We're just going to make the playoffs and then bounce anyway, just like a Dallas fan. But this is legitimately.
No, Dallas fans still think it's their year.
Yeah, well, this is legitimately an offense that can you look at what the Chiefs have done over the last couple of years. Nothing in the start. Nothing in the start with. Nothing crazy. Nothing out of that lavish. Just slowly matriculate their way through the season. And then when it comes to
that's going to be their formula to success.
That's got to be the Jets formula.
Everything right away. As long as they don't avail everything right away, then they will be successful. And I don't think that we've seen doses. I don't think that we know exactly what this offense nor what this defense is fully capable of from the Jets standpoint of things. Last night they looked damn good. I do want to keep it within a scope that they look damn good against the New England Patriots. And the New England Patriots kind of to the question and kind of the way I wrote it, I wholeheartedly feel that they were eventually going to show us who they truly are. It just so happened that it happened sooner rather than later. It looked good the first 2 weeks, despite being 1-1. Now they're 1-2. This was to be expected. The win over Cincinnati was luck.
Yeah, but they weren't. They won that game, and then they lost last week in
Seattle
overtime.
Exactly.
This is a blowout, yes. But they got a rough schedule anyway. They're not a good team. They got a
short week. We could also take the short week into account, et cetera, et cetera.
The Jets played 3 games.
I'm not trying to sit here and bully New England. I am trying to take the opportunity to say I told you so.
Drake May is getting a hell of a wide receiver next year when they draft.
Yeah.
2 overall.
Yeah.
I just think the Jets came into this game far more prepared, and I think it goes back to a little bit in the preseason when Aaron Rodgers said they ran twice as many plays during OTAs and training camp than they did last year. The Jets are ready for this game, and the offensive line is ready. So I think a lot of it came down to preparation.
Your preparation was just literally having to sit back and watch what Seattle did to them last week. Like, in all honesty, like they barely lost, they barely beat Cincinnati, and they barely lost to fucking Seattle. This team was not impressive in either one of those. I mean, they were impressive the fact they could even keep up, and I'll give them that. Heading into last night, I feel like I got fooled by that. Gator and I, we spoke about that. We said it on air. Tet McMillan and May will feed families. I could so see that as a 1-2, combo. But yeah, no, I hope that Patriots fans are brought back down to earth. Point being, this next topic is quite fascinating. First off, we know that we're not necessarily high on the particular person that I'm about to bring up. So I know there's about to be some roasting that is going to take place here. Earlier in the week, Football Mind Mel Kiper put out this very preposterous take, this very preposterous idea. Many people are even saying that this could be the worst take in sports media history, saying that he is a proponent of the idea of removing the shell too high safeties, stating that they are too far off the line of scrimmage. There needs to be a way to regulate to bring them closer to the line of scrimmage. This offense, if you're a football historian, was brought in 1973 by Dungy, in which Dungy originally took the original cover 2 and then made it the Tampa 2.
Put some respect on that coverage.
Exactly. I got this. I got you. Given what we know, that part of Mel Kiper's take was, well, you're not getting as many big stretch plays down the field as you saw in the early days of football. More namely, the eras where this fucking coverage ironically was brought into play, which is why I'm like, you clearly didn't do your research when saying this. Saying that nowadays we're seeing less and less of big playability. What are your thoughts? I know how I feel. We'll start with you, Mike.
I'm going to keep it nice and simple because I know you have a lot to say. I have a feeling the gentleman below me has a lot to say. I don't have much to say except I don't really care what Mel Kiper frickin' says. Even when it comes to the goddamn draft, I don't listen to the mofo anymore. I listen to Todd effing McShay.
Todd.
I listen to him. I don't listen to frickin' Mel. The only thing I listen to is Mel frickin' yell at Todd. Okay? All I will say is the only thing I'm going to say about this when it actually comes to it is he's dumb. He's wrong. I'll let everyone else go off about it. I know you playing wideout. I know this guy playing DB. You're just opinionated just because you want to be opinionated against a talking head. The only thing I will say is I thought it was hilarious when they asked Derwin James.
I thought that Derwin James's response was grade A.
I mean, what was the exact quote? It was something like, Oh, what am I going to do?
He's like, how the fuck do you expect me to play?
Yeah, how the fuck do you expect me to play? I mean, if that just doesn't show the headspace of like, who cares? Like, he's basically like, oh, that's what I do. I mean, other than that,
this take lit the football world on fire, especially like DBs. We have a hard enough job as is. So telling me that you want me to play closer to the line of scrimmage in today's NFL, where these quarterbacks are fucking 10 times more accurate and can put it on a dime practically anywhere they want. These are high school kids that are doing this. Suck my dick. Gator.
First of all, Mel, you're an idiot. You're an absolute fucking moron. When is the last time he played against somebody that ran 4.2 and you want me to play 5 feet from him? Let's look at Pro Football Reference for just a tiny sample size here. Going back to 1970, by the way, 2011 to 2021, the average yardage passing for the entire league was anywhere from 229 yards per year to 243 yards per year. And that was in 2015 was the last time it was over 240. Now, let's go and look at what Mel was talking about, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, where the average passing yard per year through the total number of teams, 26 to 28 teams, take a stab. It was less than 220.
Yeah.
Less than 220, 151 to 220 yards. The lowest year.
Yeah, fuck that.
Look at the lowest years. There was 2 of them where they averaged 152 yards, and they are in the prime square box that Mel Kiper himself was talking about in 1972 and in 1976. The league averaged 152 passing yards for the season.
Yeah, fuck that.
Now, let's look at the highest. Let's go to the highest, which was a total of 220 yards passing for the year on the average for the NFL teams.
What up, Rick?
Guess what year that was, Robbie? 1995. Oh,
okay,
wait.
I was going to say like 92.
That was the year that the San Francisco 49ers had both Jerry Rice, John Taylor, the big three.
You're getting into the Randy era. You're getting into the Randy Chris Carter era.
He brings this up in the year 2024, where we've had a total of 2 weeks played, 2 full weeks. Guess what the average passing yard is for 2 weeks throughout the league? 192.
192, yeah.
192.
It was 189.5 last week, and then this week it hasn't gone up much more.
So here's my point. When we look at 192, yes, it's 25 yards or so roughly, less than what we had on the average for the last 2 years. 2023 and 2022 was 218 yards throughout the, for the total was the average throughout the 32 teams. We're not that far off. And it's been horrible. It's been horrible watching these passing games, right? And we'll talk about some of these passers a little bit later, but we're not that far off. He needs to shut his mouth. Go play some defense. You're not putting these elite defenders 5 feet, 10 feet, 5 yards, 10 yards off of these guys that are running 4.2. It's absolutely asinine and ridiculous.
And to that point, how else are you guarding when you just look
what
at
he didn't do was go and look at Pro Football Focus and read the fucking stats of what's happened over the last 40
You just look at
years.
guys that are running like the 4.2s and like the 4.3s. Hell, I'll even go like the low 4.4s. Like when you go from a wide range of Hill down to fucking JSN, when you go from the 4.2s, Xavier Worthy's down to like the 4.4s, like the JSNs and the McLaurens and such. Fuck that. I'm playing golf. Like no. In what universe am I jamming that person? In what universe am I getting a hand on that person? Especially, let's look at Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, his whole release is predicated off of a full step back, a whole jump step back, and then going. You mean to tell me I'm going to already be 0.2 seconds off of the release Yes. So, no. I can think of better things that I want to do as a DB than having to be up at the line of scrimmage and playing man against that part. Eventually, you're basically advocating for getting rid of zone reads. You're basically getting rid of zone defenses. How the fuck can I even play zone at that point? How do I even pass off to my safety? How does my safety even fucking hear me in a loud ass packed stadium? I played in packed ass fucking high school stadiums. I know that they're not. I know that if I'm all the way up on the line of scrimmage as an outside corner, and I'm trying to yell back to my fucking safety just for a switch, there's no fucking there's no way you're hearing me. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
Mel's looking at the 70s
hand signals
and 80s.
are not getting it done at that point.
Mel's looking at the 70s and 80s and picking out 3, 4, 5 plays throughout the year. Well, we still have those 3, 4, 5, 6 plays a week.
Bro, like I'm just thinking about like the mechanics of it. Like there's no way that like I'd be able to, like, if you're back there at safety and I have to pass off, you have to literally be looking at me for my hand signal because you're not going to hear me.
I just wish somebody it's in his position with his platform. It took me like 10 minutes to go and look that up before he goes and spits it off like that. And you know, I don't hate Mel Kiper.
No.
I hate some of his takes.
All of them.
And I think this take is exactly like you said, one of his worst ever takes.
Dumbest fucking take in football history.
But it doesn't take that long. I get you're aggravated. I understand you're aggravated. Hell, as a fantasy manager, I'm aggravated at some of the production I've gotten. But that's the game we play, right? We know that going in. There is this possibility that Garrett Wilson is not going to score a touchdown until week 3. That sucks. But you're still drafting him because there is the possibility that he scores 3 times.
Okay, and okay, so really quick, to Leaf's point, how many quarterbacks face this coverage week in, week out?
Hang on, I'll put it to you this way. Let's
pick it apart.
You brought up the perfect example, and it's Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy invented this, or brought it up way back when. It became mainstream when he took over the head coaching job in Tampa.
Yeah.
He probably had it when he was in Minnesota as a DC, but it became even mainstream when he was a head coach in Tampa. Take a stab, and we all know the answer. How many Super Bowls did Tony Dungy win in Tampa?
0.
0.
Really got it.
Yeah, because
So is this Tampa 2, cover 2, deep safety 2, whatever the terminology you want to use on it?
It's not,
is it beatable?
It's not a game breaker. It's not a game breaker. All right. You know how last year people were arguing over the tush push? It's not a game breaker. We're not. Look, I am tired of football minds wanting to pick apart every little fucking piece of the game. I could understand if we were talking about plays that were mad impactful, bro.
Okay, if you want to make that
rule in Madden.
Maybe that's what he's talking about. Maybe he was wanting to make that rule in Madden. Maybe that's what it was.
Ha ha ha. He doesn't know what Madden is, that old head.
Jeff, your thoughts, bro.
Well, Mel to me has been so disenfranchised from football for a long time. But hey, Mel Kiper, ever heard of the 3-3-5? That pretty much everyone runs from the time they're 7 years old until they get drafted into the NFL where it's not played. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that whole defense is predicated on 3 deep safety shell coverage. If you want to take away shell coverage, hey, Mel, I got an idea for you. Remember back in the day, in like the 1930s, when he threw the ball through the end zone, it was a touchdown? Let's bring that shit back too. Let's go ahead and let's do that. That's stupid as hell. Because what are you going to replace it with? What possibly are you going to... This isn't the shift in baseball. This isn't anything like... What are you going to say? All right, safeties can't be any more than 10 yards down the field. All right, dope. Anyone who's not going after a running back, you are 10 yards down the field, and you're just going to sit right the fuck there. I'll let you dink and dunk for 3 yards all the way down and watch you not get a first down. Look, boy, I can still play your dumbass game. It doesn't make any sense. And we've got faster receivers coming out. We've got quarterbacks with arms that we've never seen before. I mean, some of the arm talent of these guys is just absolutely insane. And we've got safeties who should be linebackers, but because they can run an insane 40, have catching ability, they're playing safety, which is fucking terrifying if you think about it. And Mel, just, bro, like, your job is not to make takes on football. Your job is to tell us how bad you are at the NFL draft, which you're pretty bad at. So go back to doing that. Let Todd McShay be better than you at that, because the last time you may have had a correct take was John Elway getting drafted. So go ahead and go back to that, man. I know it's probably really hard with dementia right now to understand 2024 and not 1924, but we'll bring you back around to it, big dog.
Fuck yeah. No, I love that. That was great. That was goddamn great. That was great. Yeah. Look, as much as we love the old heads that came before us, that started doing this whole media thing before us, we respect you. But sometimes no. Not all the time, but sometimes no. And this is just one of those times.
Yeah, the next thing he's going to do is going to want to remove the blitz. You're not allowed to tackle.
No more sending Mike through the blitz. No more middle linebackers blitzing.
Anything that will help.
Defense is only allowed to play with 4 players. It's, you know.
No.
Let's go 7-on-7 and flags.
Gator, if you've heard him talk in the past year and a half, 2 years, it's anything that will help Will Levis succeed in the NFL.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, look, Will Levis throwing a backwards pass. I don't know that you can. That has nothing to do with safeties or.
I understand that, but I'm just saying he knows he can't do anything unless there's no coverage.
Really quick. Drinking game.
Hold on, let me get the bottle.
Take a sip. If you think that Levis is still rosterable.
I mean, he's a starting quarterback.
No. Take a sip. This is fucking care.
I mean, fuck it.
Take a sip if you think that he is still startable, or if you do not think that he is startable, take a sip.
Okay, are you talking one quarterback? Or are you talking about?
Yeah, you got to tell.
Because
remember,
I mean,
we playing
single QB.
No, he's probably a top. He's probably a top 28.
He's not
29.
So if I'm not starting him in one QB, I have to drink.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
I mean, I'm not starting him in Superflex either. He's my quarterback 3 on those teams. So
in one league, I have him at quarterback too. Hey, watch. When he comes on, I'm telling him one thing.
Will Levis lost his girl to Chris Braun?
Yeah. I need you guys to start chanting something for me. Chanting with me when he comes on. Penalty drink. Penalty drink. Penalty drink.
Penalty drink. Let's make sure he's looking.
Shotgun.
No, I don't want him messing up his fucking equipment. He's not shotgunning shit. Where's my tacos full, says Rick. Yo, I had beta tacos like the other day. It was so fucking fire.
It's straight water, but you know, whatever taco, it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for
this. Yeah, okay, so it's a White Claw, straight water.
I'm excited for this next topic.
That shit.
I try to do the AMSR on mute
because, in all honesty, no one saw the 3 names that I'm about to mention being top 5. And throughout 2 weeks of play, the 3 gentlemen that I'm about to bring up are top 5 fantasy QBs.
You know why I have a grin on my face?
Shut the fuck up. Quarterbacks Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield have been lighting up the fantasy football world. For fantasy managers, surpassing many of their expectations. Is this production level for these 3 sustainable? And are we potentially looking at league winners? Should these offenses even be taken seriously? Mike, we start with you.
You don't start with me, but I'm just gonna grin the whole time.
All right. Yeah. We'll let Taco start since he just got here. I figured let him get warmed up a little bit. Fuck it.
You know,
I'm warm.
Water.
I'm always warm, baby. You know what they say?
No, Diddy.
Like they
He's
say,
fucking in New York, right down the street, Diddy.
hey, we run this city.
We're talking instead of no Diddy, it's all Diddy.
Listen.
The feds are now watching.
I got the baby oil in the back.
I heard. Feds are knocking on the door.
But like, yo, is it me or is quarterback play significantly worse than it was before? So when we talk about potential league winners, I think we could be talking about that because a lot of these guys ain't it. Like they just ain't it. They just you know, I was watching Tom Brady talk about it. He was like, before you would go through a program and you would like learn all the different things. You would learn all the different coverages. You'd learn to be able to do this, and you'd go up and you get developed in the program. Nowadays, these kids are coming in starting from day one. They're not ready. They get lost at sea, and they just turned out to be meh. They don't turn out to be pretty much anything. And then you look at like what the old guard was, you know, your Phillip Riverses, your Ben Roethlisbergers, your Drew Brees. These guys were quarterback passers that can get the job done. And then, you know, some of them go out and do a couple of the other things. But we're missing a lot of that in today's game. And I think that's why when you look at some of the guys that are there, Sam Darnold, Derek Carr, you know, these are guys that have been around. They've had their bumps and bruises. But you know what? They have the reps. And a lot of these other kids, they don't. Like, I don't. Jaden Daniels, are we really expecting him? Yes, he has that rushing upside, but throwing wise, he doesn't look like he's gonna be able to do it. Anthony Richardson, he just doesn't.
None of them two are involved in this fucking question. None of them two are even in the top fucking 5.
You're right, but you drafted them thinking that they would be, and these guys are showing that they will be.
I asked about 3 motherfuckers.
Right, but what I'm saying is these guys, the guys that you were drafting in the top.
About the 3 that's on the fucking show.
We're talking about QB1s, right? If someone's coming in, some
3 guys.
Yes, they're going to be QB1s. Are these guys QB saviors? Is what you're saying? Yes, because they're going to be QB1s.
Don't talk about anybody else. How the fuck did you go?
Because of the reference point, because those were guys that were going to be QB1s, that these guys are going to come up and take their spot because they're more consistent passers. They're more consistent.
Part of the topic.
Penalty drink. Penalty drink. Penalty drink.
Shut up and drink.
You're completely off explaining the position of why these guys would be.
No, we're talking about 3 people.
Yes. They will be QB1s because the field sucks. All these other guys suck.
So that's all the fuck you have to say.
I mean, I explained it with some elegance. Here, I'll try it for you. First of all, I want to correct you on something. I want to correct you on something you said, Robbie. Is you said all 3 of these are top 5 fantasy quarterbacks, and they're not. Only 2 of them are top 5. Sam Darnold right now is
QB7, I think.
QB11, but that's still a QB1 on the season. Something ironic that all of these guys have in common. Their stat lines look so fucking similar, but they have stud wide receivers, right? And you take a Derek Carr in the New Orleans situation. You've got Sam Darnold, who somebody brought up in the chat. I believe it was the Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield both went through this Carolina stuff, which I know we're going to talk about that a little bit. But these 2 guys here have made the rounds, and top end draft picks for these 2. Derek Carr was 32 overall, something like that with the Raiders that year. But Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield have made their rounds and have picked up something at each spot and made them maybe not a better player, but maybe they've learned how to be a better teammate and how to recognize certain things, right? These 2 guys, and I don't know how Sam Darnold's going to pan out long term when it comes to Minnesota because he's on a 1-year deal. Baker Mayfield is absolutely somebody that you have to pay attention to, especially with what Tampa has done down there with their wide receiver rooms, with their front office, with the offensive line, their defensive side of the ball. That's starting to come together. But when you look at the one thing that Sam Darnold doesn't have to his game that these other 2 do is the rushing upside, right? Now, I do expect Derek Carr to come back down to life here, soon, because Derek Carr is throwing like 13 passes for the first 2 games. It's something crazy like that. It's like the average of like 13 or 14 passes per game here. So it's not a ton. When you look at Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, they're right about 50 passes for their about 25 passes. So it's still a little bit more, but Derek Carr does have a little bit more yardage than you would expect on 20 passes a game. I think with Justin Jefferson, Sam Darnold has, you look at Nick Mullins last year, Sam Darnold has that one guy that he can just pick on and throw to. He also has a veteran running back in Aaron Jones that he can rely on to not only pick up the block, but also get that extra yard here and there that he needs to get, right? Somebody that's going to protect him, because Minnesota's offensive line is kind of shaky at times.
Yeah.
So same thing with the Tampa offensive line. There's been some shakiness when you looked at it last week against Aiden Hutchinson, giving up 4.5 sacks to Aiden Hutchinson. That's not great. Although we know
That's bad.
Yeah. Well, we know how good that defense is there in Detroit. But Baker willed his team to the win. Fun fact here: Baker Mayfield had 2 runs last week, back-to-back plays where he scored the touchdown of 11 yards. Both of them were 11 yards each.
Really quick. Speaking of Detroit,
that was his longest rush of his career, was 11 yards. You know what Baker Mayfield said? That's fucking sad.
Really quick, Jack Campbell at linebacker, a little sneaky pickup if you're needing an LB, an IDP.
Gator to
Jeff.
To help. Yeah, but I got a stat for Gator. It's 19 pass attempts per game so far for Derek Carr.
Yeah, he's 30 of 39 for 443 and 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
He's a home run hitter now.
Jeff, go ahead, sir, and then I'll go after you.
All right, so these 3 quarterbacks, they're all unique in multiple different ways. But going to the actual topic here, is it sustainable? Derek Carr's got the Eagles, the Bucks twice, Chiefs, Falcons twice, Packers and Browns. Darnold's got Houston, Jets, Packers twice, Bears twice, Lions twice, Seattle, Arizona. Baker's got Saints twice, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Dallas, 49ers, and the Falcons twice.
FYI, Jeff, I did answer that question. I said it's sustainable for Baker.
He wasn't talking to you. He was talking to the other one.
Yeah, no, you were fine, Gabe. You gave an answer. All 3 of these quarterbacks are going to be playing against some elite defensive secondaries and some top end front sevens going down the stretch. As far as sustainability, Derek Carr for me, I think is the most sustainable, because Derek Carr to me has the most consistent offensive line and rushing attack to go along with his passing game. Minnesota has a tendency to have 1 or 2 of their receivers hurt. I'm excited to see what Hawkinson does when he comes back. But I don't trust Jones and Chandler to really get that thing going when Sam Darnold is struggling. Baker, there are some strong questions in that offensive line and that running back field. And Baker got sacked 4.5 times last week by 1 player. That is not a sustainable outlook. I mean, we're talking about 2 games here. Now, Baker, I think, second to Carr. Darnold, I don't think this is sustainable at all. And this has nothing to do with Darnold. This is the fact that he has to play. This is the fact that he has to play 3 of the top 10 defenses in the league right now 6 times before the end of the season.
Okay. Mike.
Hold on real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh my gosh.
Are you
It's
taking
very ominous or suspicious.
No,
I'm not sure how to respond.
Robbie
to that.
already knows what I'm doing.
I might know what you're doing. You're going to get something.
I'm victory lapping.
You're going to hurt yourself.
That was 1 lap.
They'll run that.
He
fast.
said lapping. That motherfucker did 1 lap.
Is your wife home to make sure you make sure she can call 911 when you fucking kill yourself?
I don't care, Robbie. This is my time to gloat, motherfucker.
Well, you need another Eagle ring. What are you doing?
Why are you so excited right now? What is happening?
I'm glad Gator went ahead of me. I'm glad Jeff went ahead of me. I'm even glad Taco screwed up the question because I can talk about one of them. And yes, that is going to be Sam Mono Boy Darnold. Yes, I've seen your tweets. Yes, I've seen your Facebook posts. I don't care.
Hey, that last face is both fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Shovel face.
Is it completely sustainable? No. Is it sustainable enough to be a low-end QB1? Yes. Will it happen? I'm not for sure. But yes, he's got a tough schedule. But in my opinion, he has some of the best weapons because he has Justin freaking Jefferson.
Yes.
Okay? You have Justin Jefferson. You got 3 weapons right there in one. Hawkinson's coming back at some point. Who would have thought that Sam Darnold could drop back into the end zone and walk out of the end zone with a fucking touchdown?
KOC,
Not me.
That's the only guy on planet Earth.
And that was like 40 freaking yards in the air. It wasn't a freaking slant for 7 and J. Jeff went the rest. Yes, J. Jeff did his best. They still have Aaron Jones. They have a decent offensive line as long as they can stay healthy. Yes, it could be sustainable. I trust Baker. I trust Carr arm. I don't trust the Saints. I don't trust Dennis Allen.
I don't trust the Saints. Here's the thing. All right.
There. That's it. I'm out of breath.
I think it's Clint more than Dennis Allen.
Running you were doing.
Yes,
Sam Darnold or Trevor Lawrence?
I don't know why.
Mike, Sam Darnold or Trevor Lawrence?
That's a gross question.
I mean, right now, I don't think it's.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Anyways.
Right now? Sam
Yeah.
Darnold.
Or rest of the season?
He's gonna ride, but he's gonna ride with Sam Darnold. He's gonna die on a fucking hill. Like,
have you not heard me for 3 years?
yeah, that's all. I'm like, it's a stupid fucking question. Look,
Sam Darnold over Daniel Jones.
The Saints
every day
are
of
an
the week.
interesting conundrum. The Saints are an interesting conundrum purely because they've never had an offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinators in the NFL, especially within like the last 5 to 6 years, are super unique breed because you get the Johnsons, Pauls, you get the Ben Johnsons, the Bobby Slowicks, so on and so forth that come along and they could just reinvent an offense. McVay, what he was able to do and how he climbed the ranks now being a head coach. You look at some of these offensive minds, these boy geniuses, so to speak, quote unquote. And I feel like Clint Kubiak has some of that to him. But then I'm also at the end of the day, it's still the Saints. It's cool. It feels awesome. It's fun in a way. But I think that eventually it's going to rear its ugly head, But while you can, Carr is startable until proven.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, Carr is startable. Same thing.
I just wrote him at start of the week.
Yeah,
and he probably has the easiest schedule of the 3 to at least maintain a.
Yeah, there's that as well. Baker. Obviously, I've been toting Baker since last year, and I've been saying there's something with this kid ever since he landed in Tampa. Hell, that one snap that we saw, that one game that he played even as a Ram, I was like, oh shit. I was like,
that one game got him a contract. Literally that one game.
Yeah, I was like, something's clicked. Something's fucking happened. So ever since then, I've kind of been a proponent of Baker. I've never really been down on Baker. Baker, big playmaker. He's gonna go out there, get you a baker's dozen, and let's see if he can bake you up a championship at the same damn time. With Sam Darnold, I think that I'm warming up to the idea. the fact of having to admit that Darnold might actually be good at football. Sometimes when you're drafted, it's not about your landing position.
I didn't hear you. Can you please repeat that?
Sometimes in football, it's not about where you get drafted. It's about just for your skill set, for what you can provide to a team, and just provide to the game alone, being in the right position.
It doesn't matter who it is. If Adam Gase is your head coach, at any point you're gonna suck.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry.
He's gonna literally make you worse than you were before.
You know, there's another common denominator between Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. I just thought about this. Sean McVay.
Yeah,
a Sean McVay tree.
Oh, the tree.
Yeah,
oh,
the
yeah,
tree.
right. You're right.
Look, I think that there's something with all three of these.
Yeah, Derek Carr is out. He has nothing to do with the Sean McVay tree. He's fucking done. He's
no.
Yeah,
but I do think but I mean, Kubiak, might be able to give him, a little push. I think there's something with all three of these. This is something that I definitely want to be studying as it develops forward. Especially if passing continues to be the trend of where it's at. What's up, Mike?
So, Gator, what do you think about different topic, same QB? What do you think about the narrative? Now, I'm sure you hear stuff down there too, being a fan. Through 2 games, what is the narrative down there, and what do you think the narrative is now? How there were people who were like, Baker's not going to be shit because of Canales.
Well, I mean, there was a few, but that was so. There was
over here. It was a lot.
Well, that's because out west, y'all don't even know what football exists except
bullshit.
Whoa!
With black dots on it. I mean, wow.
I mean, they eat ketchup on steak.
Yeah,
that's what are you talking about? That's in the Midwest, you idiot.
Dip their bananas in
geography.
Your state doesn't even have a good college football team or a good high school football team. What are you talking about, Taco?
Yeah.
We don't even have a good Well, we have the Bills.
No, you don't have a good football team. The Bills are Canadian at this point.
No, but I mean, the sentiment around Baker is he won over. He won over. Him and his family have won over the Tampa area, just like the Tampa area won Baker over, right? It's a beautiful marriage because when you're watching Baker off the field, what he's doing in the community, how the community's responding to what he's doing, and then what he's doing on the field, and how that makes the community just draw together. It's amazing, and I'm 3 hours from it, and I'm feeling it here.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that there was a few, but it was very few that were, well, Baker ain't going to be shit without Canales, because Canales was there for 1 year. The other side of that coin is when he was out in LA for that one game that he played, but he was there for those 4 weeks, I think it was. He was with Liam Cohen out there.
Yeah.
I just got one question for Gator, and it's relevant to the topic here. With Baker, how long do you ride the bicycle that you're not sure is going to stay together in Baker Mayfield before you start looking at quarterbacks in the draft?
Well, I mean, they got Kyle Trask back there, but I think
first of all, you're a Gator fan that doesn't care.
No.
They have themselves a couple of years. They have themselves at least 3.
I don't think they do. I think they can start looking as early as this year, but because there has been the sentiment that Kyle Trask may be somebody that Dave Canales wants to look at trading for. And as Buck fans were like, no, don't do that because it's in division, right? Plus the only other quarterback we have on the roster right now is on the practice squad. So we don't want that to happen as fans, but
there's no fixing it.
There is. With Baker, it's a 3-year deal. So this being year 1. So after this, in the draft season,
worry about your team.
What?
Nothing. No, he's talking to the chat. Keep going, Gator.
With draft year 25, we only have 2 years left of Baker's contract. Ironically, we only have that same amount of time with Mike Evans, right? So we have to start looking. And if you look at what these smart teams have done with quarterbacks, i.e., Green Bay. You go and draft them a couple years earlier. Let them learn the system. Let them get their feet wet in the NFL. Learn that the speed of the game in the NFL is faster than college. Just like when they got to college, they learned it was faster than it was in high school.
Better, yeah.
But if you allow them to do that the process, everything, all the technology that you have in the NFL facilities compared to what they had in college and in high school, they're going to learn how to be a pro way quicker and be a better pro. We're talking about Baker Mayfield. Think about how it was for him when he was the number 1 overall draft pick going to Cleveland, right? Cleveland's a fucked up situation, and it's continued to be a situation, right? But when he was in Oklahoma, his big thing that everybody remembers isn't any of the games he played. It was planting that flag on Ohio State.
Flag in the middle.
Correct. That's what everybody remembers. That was the attitude of Baker Mayfield. Then it took, 4 years in Cleveland, 3 years, whatever it was in Cleveland. Then he bounced. Finally, he figured out, okay, I can't be as brash and be
Cleveland was fucked up because Cleveland gave up.
But they let him be that way.
But they didn't let him. But
what I'm getting at, let me finish, Robbie. I'm not disagreeing with you. But with him going to a fucked up situation, we now have the Baker Mayfield that is the pro that he is now. We didn't have to have that. We could have had a Baker Mayfield be what Bryce Young is, or what we have over there in Houston, and a very smart player. And I think that's what we have now with Baker, and that's again why I say the 2025 is the year you start looking. Not saying you have to go and draft one of these guys, because I don't know what the quarterbacks look like in college right now. I haven't seen too many that stand out to me that are going to be draft eligible. But in 2026 and 2027, stop it with the Shador bullshit. He sucks ass. He sucks. His daddy sucks. He sucks. I think they were at Diddy parties, so they won't even be eligible for the draft. So anyway,
I'm not going to go on a limb that this sucks. But I will say that I feel like this is a class this year that you can wait. Like, if you get one of the guys this year, cool. Like, it is what it is. But I do think that we're going to jump a year in terms of the quarterback class. It'll be the next class, and we're like, oh shit. Or like,
we say that every year, right? We say that every year. We don't like this class. We don't like this class.
No, I don't feel like we say. No, I feel like we like the. I like this last class.
I get what Gator's saying. Is at the beginning, everyone's all hunky dory about each class, and then the closer it got to the draft and trading draft picks and everything, everyone was like, "Oh, skip to 25, skip to 25." It happens every year.
I think if last year you were saying skip to this year's class, you're fucking insane. But
I mean, I probably would have taken this year's class over last year's class. To be honest with you, Caleb to me was overhyped. I didn't trust Jalen after Arizona State. I didn't trust Drake May because he only had one good year, and that's all they showed. If you watched the game last night, was 2022 in UNC. So I would have taken this year's class for sure. Because I mean, if you look at, there's 4 quarterbacks off the board, right now that arguably could come in and be better than any of those 3.
Yeah, I think the one thing you miss when you say that, Jeff, is when you look, because I'm pretty high on Drake May. I think Drake May absolutely should have been 1-1 over Caleb. That's just my opinion. But when you say that about what he had in college, or what his 1 year in college was, look at the very next year. Look at how many players that he had on that prior year that went to the NFL.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about his receiver of Josh Downs. I'm talking about his offensive line.
And he produced pretty well.
He had nobody coming back the next year, and was still productive.
Let's go ahead. Let's get into halftime. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the Rumboyz and girls, what it do? Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly, yo.
stick to the plot. And stick to the plot. And stick to the plot. And stick to the script. Sometimes you get what you get, so don't try to go and just shit. Just stick to the plot. And stick to the plot. And stick to the plot. And stick to the script. Sometimes you get what you get, so don't try to go and just shit. See, it's kinda funny. You stick to the bros, to the riches, and hope you don't crash like some dummy. To get to this money, you cut every piece of the pie to find out you sliced into an onion. Now let's change the subject. These niggas who think they got something, but actually they end up with nothing. It's stupid, disgusting. I'm tired of the fucking assumptions. I'm about to blow up like corruption, so stick to it. Stick to the plan. When you lose it, gotta get it again. Keep it moving, never stick in the sand. Even when tired, like Michelin Man, shit, I know I'm the man, so I don't give a damn about opinions. I'm racking up millions, you spiking opinions. She throwing it back in the back of the video. Now we taking off and her man and his feelings. Now back to the business. Back to the lab with my niggas. Actually back doing laps in the trenches. It's my second home. I ain't have to go visit. I stay resident, embedded to living the life of a nigga. By day we just niggas. At night we the victim. The life of go get 'em. So I'ma go get it. I stick to my plan. I still on my mission. And stick to the plot. And stick to the plot. And stick to the script. Sometimes you get what you get, so don't try to go and just shit. Just stick to the plot. And stick to the plot. And stick to the plot. And stick to the script. Sometimes you get what you get, so don't try to go and just shit. So this is my message. Sometimes you just living in life, be an actor. Don't try to direct it. Now let's change direction. This life that we live for the lesson. Don't count chickens, start counting blessings before they go missing. I promise you, I'm on a mission. I want something, I'ma go get it. No hidden intentions. I open my eyes, saw my vision. Now everyone see that I'm gifted. I'm rapping like Christmas. You niggas just under a tree. I'm smoking it, not metaphorically. I'm smoking no tree. No one's smoking no me. So when I say you're under it, no, that means me. I'm a poet MC and I'm living my dream. Hoping that hopefully you see the hope in me. And if you don't fuck it, cause I'm all I need. Keep my ear to the game and my mind to the streets. I'm a beast. Stick to the number one mission in hand. Be true to yourself and give your life meaning. And fuck their opinions, they won't understand. To get to the top, gotta give all you got. Only getting one shot, so give up or not until your heart stops. Gotta stick to the plot. And stick to the plot. And stick to the plot. And stick to the script. Sometimes you get what you get, so don't try to go and chase shit. Just stick to the plot. And stick to the plot. And stick to the plot. And stick to the script. Sometimes you get what you get, so don't try to go and chase shit. Just stick to the
Hop out in Miami when I'm landing, got no understanding. Out of here, I'm burning, or turn me up, you can't understand it. In the club, posted up, they lit up, no matter where I'm standing. Drop GLD for the Cuban link, yeah, you see it there. Might spaz out on some taller shit, no one zero tolerance. Money conversations ain't hard to relate, it's hollering. See my net, they acknowledge it, good friend, girl, where you're not.
You don't have to worry, it's my time right now, cause the boy about to blow up. They gon' pay me before I show up. Why you hating? You don't know what? Never make it what they told us. But we don't listen to haters, we just keep.
I need a sugar mom.
Anything I want.
I thought that first one was a Oda Diddy, but maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Oh, no, fuck no.
Stick to the plot.
Stick to the plot.
Here's to me, here's to you, all the
Stick
Rumboyz.
to your alibi. Stick to your alibi. Don't get caught. Stick
What
to your
the fuck?
You can do
Welcome
that.
back to America. There you go.
That's the second. That's the second. That's the second verse. Stick to the plot. The second verse is a little bit different. Don't get that.
And into the second half of the show. Let's have
Why?
some.
We can't get into the second half of the show. We don't have a heel.
Yeah. Well,
Fuck Taco.
we do have a heel. We
He does
do
have a
heel.
second kid.
It's on the show sheet. We have a heel.
We do.
So we have to talk about it. Bryce Young was benched earlier in the week, meaning the Carolina Panthers are going to go ahead and start Andy Dalton. Well, I feel like only on our show do we criticize like fucking sucky quarterbacks. Of course, this did cause a uproar across the football community as a whole in regards to the conversation of quarterback development. Some pundits even brought up trade scenarios for Bryce Young. Should Bryce Young hurry up and find his way out of Carolina? And does Dalton really give this team the best chances of winning games? Like, let's be realistic. Mike.
Oh, I'm first? Mm.
Yeah, because I said so.
Okay, that's fine. Me and my daddy.
I'm not, but it's just a
All
time
right.
here.
No, here we go. So I honestly don't know if Andy Dalton gives the Carolina Panthers the best chance of winning. But if you want to find more about his fantasy outlook this week and furthermore, check out my article that I wrote because he is my
give the viewers the fucking tape.
I am.
Same
He is
with
my
Clark.
quarterback spotlight of the week. My take is I don't know if he's going to be the answer to this team, and I think that is not even going to be answered this week. What he is the answer to is Deontay Johnson finally getting on the scoreboards for my goddamn fantasy teams. Okay? And even Adam Thielen in the league that I have to start him in.
So they're talking
When it comes
about
to
him
Bryce
being
Young, yes, I think it is just one of those things. I don't think he could. To me, he reminds me, not playing style or anything like that. He reminds me of like Jamarcus Russell, Ryan Leaf, where guys that hear me out. That guys that couldn't handle being a top prospect in between the ears. I think that's part of his problem. I think he's so jacked up.
I don't think that's part of his problem. I think that it's a Carolina problem.
It is partly a Carolina problem. That's what I'm trying. Let me talk. In the last question, Robbie, you brought up two freaking quarterbacks who used to play in Carolina.
Yes.
One of those, I was circling the bandwagons when he was in Carolina. And I got told he sucked because he was in Carolina. So, of course, Bryce Young partly sucks because he got told that he sucked
before Carolina, but
huh?
You got told that he sucked before Carolina, but
oh yeah. Well, I'm the one that said he sucked before Carolina because Adam freaking Gase and Jeff can attest to that. You're the one that said he still sucked because he was in Carolina. Furthermore, to my point, these trade rumors I don't think are going to happen this season. Could it happen in the offseason and them reset depending on how bad they suck this year? Yes. But I think there's a chance he could get back on the field. I think his confidence is completely broke. Everything is broke with this kid. Canales can't even save him. And do we know if it's the other thing I want to know, because Canales comes out and says, oh, he's still our QB. Was this a Canales decision?
I think
I don't know for sure.
this is Canales kind of coaches can be shady.
Yeah, but is this a Dave Tepper?
Probably Dave Tepper.
This is all I'm saying is Dave Tepper would be the perfect guy to hand in the.
All right, so here's the thing is if it's a Canales move is how much rope does Tepper give Canales to run with? If it's a Tepper move and I'm Canales, I'm thinking
I want out.
I'm fucked in this situation. Like
I think he was fucked the minute he signed on the goddamn dotted line.
Dotted line. I mean, anyone that goes to Carolina, coach, player, is kind of screwed. Gator.
Yeah, first of all, let's. I got a couple of different quotes. One from Canales, one from Bryce Young. I'll start with the one from Bryce Young because I don't think his confidence is broke, and that's simple because when he was asked if he thought he was given enough time by the Panthers, he said every snap hits my hands. I didn't do enough with it. I'm always going to look in the mirror. I went out there. He wants to be a better player. Wants to be, he wants all of these different things. So I don't think he's broke between the ears. Now, like you, Mike, I was not high on Bryce Young coming into the league. I think he was just too fragile. And I think going to the Panthers was just a bad situation altogether. Again, this guy should have been gone to one of the teams that would have let him sit for a year or two. Unfortunately, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The worst part about this is he's thrown more passes than the other three quarterbacks that we talked about earlier, Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield, completed less than all of them except for Derek Carr, thrown for 245 yards and does not have a passing touchdown right now. They overpaid for a couple offensive linemen who have not protected the hell out of him at all. Have not protected him at all. We sit here. They've been outscored 73-13 over the first 2 weeks. Bryce Young has a 55% completion rate, averaging 4 yards per attempt. He's only thrown 10 passes that have made a first down and has been sacked 6 times.
The baby has thrown more passing TDs in the Panther Stadium than Bryce Young. I'm dead.
Well, Bryce Young, is it too far-fetched to sit here and say, because I was pretty high on Bryce Young, going into the year, especially in fantasy, because they did overpay for a couple of offensive linemen. They did bring in Deontay Johnson. They did bring in Dave Canales. But is it too far-fetched to sit here and go, okay, Sam Darnold can do it after leaving Carolina. Baker Mayfield can do it after leaving Cleveland and Carolina. Do we wait 2 more years and go, okay, now we have Bryce Young that we thought we were going to get coming out of college? I don't think the answer is yes, because I still think he's still too small to play.
But I think that is a conversation worth having. And
sure,
I agree.
I'm gonna hold off on whether he is going to be, fantasy or even NFL relevant.
Kyler has had coordinators that have made his size work. Russell Wilson had coordinators that made his size work. Jaden Daniels is being given an opportunity to work with the coordinator that can make his size work.
But you asked the question, and I'm gonna defend Taco here for a second because you didn't give me a chance to answer the actual question. I was just giving you the lead up to the question, and the question you asked was: is Andy Dalton? Does he really give the team the best chance to win? And I don't give a damn if he gives them the best chance to win. I give a damn that he gives Bryce Young the best chance to live. And he's not going to get killed on a football field.
Poetic. That's poetic.
Is he Tua?
No.
What? I mean, listen, he's already taken 6 sacks this year. He can't get the ball out fast enough.
He doesn't. We're not dealing with like the injuries or that type of shit. What we're dealing with Bryce Young is, I think that it's a bigger situation than football. In so many ways, I think that to both of you gentlemen's point that I both just went first, and I think that the rest of the panel is going to agree on the same take, is that it is a Carolina problem. Mm-hmm. To the question that you posed, I do think I don't want to be definitive, but I do think that he stands a better chance in a different offense and a different organization. I think that so many things are broken. And I say this as a Washington fan because I've seen an organization be broken from the top down. I think that things from a cultural standpoint are so broken beyond repair to where I don't give a fuck who's in that building. They're not getting it together.
Yeah, I'll end on this. Wednesday Canales said Young is not something we're looking to trade, or he's not a player we're looking to trade. We have a great situation with our quarterbacks right now with these guys, with what the experience they have. We love where they're at, and it's all hands on deck. Today, was it today or yesterday? Somebody asked him in a press conference, again, have they thought about trading Bryce Young? And he would not definitively say no. Jeff. I think the best option, I'll throw one at you, just as a football fan, somebody he could sit behind and possibly learn, because there is a situation in Dallas. They could trade Trey Lance, send Bryce Young, and somebody that has an opportunity to sit for a year. If there is an issue with Dak, could automatically plug into that offense, and then there's another trade chip for Dallas to get out of it later.
I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that. I hate Dallas, obviously, but speaking as just purely a football mind. Jeff, your thoughts?
Mike, finish your shameless plug. Where is your article at? Because that's going to go into what I'm talking about next.
DynastyNerds.com. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
All right, there we go. So 3 years ago, and anyone who's written anything knows how difficult this was. I wrote a 10,000-word article about picking quarterbacks first overall. And I said the NFL is flawed in how they pick quarterbacks first overall, because they never set up the team around the quarterback when they pick the quarterback first. They think they can take a quarterback and make a playoff team. Guess what? Doesn't work. And if you want to throw out C.J. Stroud, that team was set up for C.J. Stroud. They just so happened to be lucky, even though he wasn't first. Bryce was. But I don't think Bryce is broken. This is a Carolina problem. Go ahead, name me a first-round pick that's worked out for Carolina in the last decade. I'd like to hear it. Bryce Young, I didn't like him coming into the league, and part of my article literally honed in on the fact that you are taking an elite college playmaker who has better coaches than he's going to have in the NFL, with better players than he's going to have in the NFL. And you're taking him first overall into a situation where he is now going to have to be the guy to make everything work. That was concerning. And who did I pick out in that article? The first one was Trevor Lawrence. And it seemed to work out pretty good in that article for a little while. So I think there's some things to be said for Bryce Young. This is a Carolina Panther problem. I don't think Bryce Young has the tools to play legitimately in the NFL. And going off what Gator said, if there's anywhere where this guy needs to go, trade his ass to LA, let him sit behind Stafford. Stafford's got 2 years left, and I guarantee you Sean McVay is going to turn Bryce Young around.
The problem with that one is Stetson Bennett's sitting there, and they like Georgia quarterbacks, so that's probably not going to happen.
A lot, and really quick, Leafs. A lot of players have left that system. Burns, Moore, CMC, Luvo, fucking Darnold, Mayfield. Goddamn, like Deontay coming into that system, I think that hurt him. Like anyone that's gone into it, their careers have hurt. So I think that Jeremy Chin. I think that we're looking at a organizational problem. We're not looking at a player problem.
You're looking at a systematic problem.
Yeah, it's a systematic thing.
That's the biggest issue, because look at how many coaches they've had, how many coordinators they've had, and you expect a quarterback to come in from Nick Saban, who's undersized with understrength arm power, who is a pseudo versatile mobile quarterback who had multiple first round wide receivers coming in his first target is Adam Thielen at 33 years old.
No, you have a systematic problem.
Taco.
I mean, I don't even know if it's a systematic problem or if it's a ownership problem.
That's what I mean.
How many
That
different
starts the systematic issues. It starts from the top down.
like he just brings in the hottest coordinator because there was the other college guy, was it Matt Rule, whatever. Then you got this guy, then you got that guy, and guess what? Since Cam Newton left, you haven't had anything really stable, anything really.
Matt Rule's killing it in college.
Now, yeah, once he got out of the
Dylan
Raiola. Like it like you said, it's just like the owner. It's like one of those situations. It's like the how the Knicks used to be, how the Clippers used to be. It's like they'll never win until they get rid of that owner kind of thing. It's like he will just fuck shit up from the beginning down. Now, I mean, in most cases, and this is what I was speaking to earlier, these kids are playing way too early. They are simply not ready, and you are ruining them. You are flat out ruining their confidence. They no longer have because this is a confidence game as well. Like there's a certain aspect of this of yes, you need the physical skills to play, but then you need the confidence in order to go out and execute on your skills. And if you put people in positions to succeed, they can succeed. But if you put people in the worst positions ever, you are going to mentally scar them. Things will happen and they will not be the same player. They do not understand that these are humans.
Standpoint has been the worst position ever for even a veteran quarterback to walk into.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it will mentally take its toll. Now, for Young, is this a situation of his talent, his scheme, the talent around him? It could be a combination of everything. Is this the end of this young man's career? By all means, no. He's a very talented kid. Otherwise, you wouldn't be drafted in the first round of the NFL. Maybe he's not number one, but he was a first round draft pick at quarterback. These guys are you know what? These guys have the opportunity to come back around if they work hard and they stay on top of their studies and they go into another system. They go into, you know, like everyone's saying, the right coaching tree. Maybe get under someone that was with Shanahan, or maybe get under Andy Reid something, and go get fixed out with a real coach and a real system. Start learning the game the way you're supposed to, because you're probably put out there. They probably simplified the playbook, trying to make things easy for you to succeed, and everything went to shit. So you probably don't even know some of the upper echelon theories that you probably need. And that's what Brady was pretty much articulating across the board, that these guys cannot think football on the levels they used to, and that's why they can't execute on the field. And at the end of the day, you need to give these kids a chance to actually figure the game out and learn the game from a real coach.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems we have right now, and this is an NFL problem. When you look at you draft these guys so early, and you have to pay them so much money to start with, without getting onto an NFL field, you almost have to put them on the field. And there's where you get your bust. Wait a second. Let me finish, Robbie. Because you look at some of these contracts that have been given out just this past year and a half, 2 years, where you've got the Dak Prescotts, the Jordan Loves, the Trevor Lawrence. They've been on the field for 3 years, roughly. And now they're starting to get money, right? You've got somebody like Bryce Young coming in, who signs a $40 million deal because he's the number one overall pick, because that's where that slot is. That's where that money is slotted for, right? He's $9 million a year. And basically, not only does it sit there and lock the player in, like, fuck it, I get the money. Nothing they can do about it. But it also locks down the team. The team can't do anything for 4 years, whether they're going to cut him at the end of 4 years or just let him walk.
There's that. But then there's also the fact that,
but it doesn't give the team the opportunity to see what these players are going to be like on the field.
But this team had issues even before that. This team cannot attract playmakers. Motherfuckers don't want to play there, Rob.
That's the ownership suck. Well, no, but that's a good chunk of it. But besides Tepper, there's not going to be a lot. I mean, yeah, there's good parts of every city, but Charlotte's not the best town to go live in.
No,
like, it's not. They don't get a choice on where they go. Here's the thing.
When this team had,
we're also talking free agency.
When this team had swagger, when this team had attitude, people wanted to fucking be there.
You mean the Delhomme days?
Fuck, I'm talking about even
Damn
Newton.
days.
I'm talking about even Newton.
What's don't disrespect Cam. Killer
But
Cam.
that also comes with
Like,
coaching
here's the
stability.
thing, this
If you
team
were a free agent,
This
why
team
would you
did
go to a
nothing.
situation
This
that's
team
so
did nothing after Cam. They did nothing to help
Bro.
themselves from a coaching standpoint. They did nothing to help themselves from a
Okay,
player development
but,
standpoint.
let's
They did
also
nothing
hold
to
on.
help themselves from a
Whoa.
coaching standpoint.
Whoa.
Hold on. They did nothing to help themselves from a coaching standpoint. They have not brought in the stars. They have not brought in the attractions. You have the biggest fucking country star in the world, and you can't even get him to pack out your own fucking stadium.
How about this though? You traded away CMC, you traded away Burns, then you trade all those picks.
We've already
Hold on.
talked about that.
Hold on.
We've
Then you
already
trade
gone down that path.
You trade all those picks then for Young. So what have you done? You've gutted your team from all your
this fucking path.
you gutted your team from all your young talent, and then you trade all your future capital for a guy that doesn't hit. It will never make sense to trade that much for a quarterback when the bust rate is that high. They traded way too many assets and put themselves in a hole.
Taco, here's the thing. It wasn't going to hit because they weren't doing the other things outside to make it be a reasonable situation.
To back everyone up that's not in the bottom left-hand corner. David Tepper bought the team in 2018. That means he was only with Cam for 1.5 years.
And that's where you can cut a little bit of grace.
No, all I'm saying is that proves that they've done nothing to help the organization after Cam has left, because it's all been him.
There were so many, even during that time, there were so many different ways that you could have brought in, even if they sucked, you could have brought in a quarterback or someone.
I agree. I'm just saying
could have sold fucking tickets.
I'm saying
you've done nothing to even sell. They can't even put football aside. They can't even put on fucking concerts at this goddamn stadium. Because the team sucks so bad that people don't even want to fucking go.
Yeah, I think so. As a Bucs fan, remember we had this issue. We were not great with a few years there.
Yeah.
The one thing that Tepper needs to do, and probably needs to do it like yesterday and not wait till tomorrow.
Sell the fucking team.
Well, no, because if he wants to keep this team. If he wants to be an owner that wants to give a fuck about Charlotte, that wants to build something,
he needs to give money to Charlotte. He needs to give money back.
What he needs to do, at least for the team, itself, is somehow find a way to bring in the stars of the past to be a part of what is going to be built. Whether that's Cam Newton, whether that's Luke Kuechly, whether that's think back in the day when they had Cam and they had Thunder and Lightning.
They don't even have a fucking Ring of Honor ceremony.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. If you bring these guys, I mean, okay, and there it is. I was just fixing to bring up the whole Michael Jordan thing with Charlotte as well, because there is just a icky feeling about Charlotte sports with these two guys. And I hate to put Michael Jordan in the category of
it's the truth. It's the fucking truth.
It is the facts.
They can support a AAA baseball team, but even MLB is worried.
They can support an NFL team. They have done it before.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, because of all the stuff that we're bringing up, the MLB is also worried about, because there's been talks about bringing them as one of the expansion teams and moving to AAA.
The
MLB's not bringing a fucking team to Charlotte.
I'm saying there's been
Las Vegas.
I am not saying bring them in as coaches or owners or any of that. I'm saying bring them in as ambassadors, something along the lines of what Tampa did with Warren Sapp and Brooks.
Bro,
and even
changed his whole name, and we still tried to make sure that we kept as much of our legacy.
Correct. The same thing Washington did with
Dale Green, Doug Williams.
Yes. And Doug Williams is still part of Tampa. Doug Williams still does a lot with Tampa back in the day when he was drafted by Tampa. He still does a lot down there. He didn't win a Super Bowl like he did, for Washington, but those are two ties for him, and he still does a lot for both communities. Those are the kind of things. And Cam Newton, I don't know all the history, but Cam Newton, for whatever reason, from what I'm hearing anyway, has zero to do with Charlotte.
Charlotte, no, yeah. Like, even
There's
when he
got to
tries
be
to
a
do it,
reason
even when he
for that.
tries to
Let's
do
fix
events,
that.
when he does events in Charlotte, to your point, Gator, they're not tied in with the Panthers.
Correct. That's
there
a problem.
Is zero backing by the fucking Panthers.
That's a problem.
That is a huge problem.
And
Getting into the next topic,
if you can get somebody like that, like a Luke Kuechly, like you're going to start to bridge those ties
even
to the
Steve
free agent.
Smith. They do nothing with Steve Smith.
Jesus Christ! There's a whole nother, yeah. We could be on this for another 3 days. So
we could manage the team.
Jonathan Stewart, man.
We could manage the team. Give me a house by the Outer Banks.
Jonathan Stewart and all them guys. You bring them back. Bring them back. Do a fucking flag football.
Jake Delhomme and me want to come home.
Jesus. I mean, it's not that damn hard. You want to sign autographs. We got no players that play NFL football on our team. We have these old guys, though, and they'll come and play a flag football game and sign autographs. You watch the fans. There'll be more fans standing in line for autographs than there will be in the stadium to watch an NFL football game. And I don't care if it's the Chiefs, if it's Buffalo, the 49ers, and CMC comes back. Nobody's going to watch the game. But they'll be there for the autographs.
Nebraska's tied right now, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm watching. I've got that game on right here.
Syracuse game. The Green Bay Packers appear to be head of schedule in regards to quarterback Jordan Love's injury. You may see him listed as questionable in your leagues. With him being listed questionable for Sunday, do you think the Packers should let him play? If he is going to be on the field, are you starting him in your fantasy leagues, or do you have like a backup situation just in case, like he's not like going to play at like the full level? Like, what are your thoughts around it, Taco?
Well, I mean, if the team feels comfortable with him playing, I mean, you got to remember they just put in like a $57 million a year contract, whatever. They gave him a ridiculous number per year now on his contract. You think they're going to be pretty considerate with their investment? They're going to be logical with this investment. They're not going to put him out there if there's a high re-injury risk. It's going to be more of like, hey, it's just a matter of your pain tolerance versus, well, if you go out there, you have structural damage that could X, Y, or Z. You have to really look at the parameters of, well, hey, if you're going to put this guy out there, it just, it's like, hey, the only problem with him is like, can he handle the pain? Because it's going to hurt like a motherfucker, or like, are you going to really rupture something? And if they determine that, then I have to feel confident in that determination, because I am not a doctor. I am not in there. I am not doing any of that stuff.
No shit, you're not a doctor.
So I'm a fantasy doctor right now. and at this point, I would basically have to say, okay, he may be not full strength, but he is good enough to be on the field and perform the playbook. Now, when we look at the field of quarterbacks, let me see how good they performed. More than likely, I'm going to play him with Jordan Love. There's very few people I will add on my team that I will play over Jordan Love. Maybe if you give me a Derek Carr and I'm feeling lucky, I'll play Derek Carr. But
ballsy, eh?
Yeah, but for the most part, I drafted Jordan Love. I believe in Jordan Love. And if they're rolling Jordan Love out there, motherfucker, I'm rolling Jordan Love out there. Let's motherfucking go. Smoke him if you got him.
Smoke if you got him. Jeff.
I don't think Jordan Love plays at all. I think this is smoke and mirrors completely from the Green Bay Packers organization. His injury shouldn't be healed by now. And if you want to play him against the Titans when you're in a division where the Vikings look legitimate and the Lions look legitimate, and you want to play him before he's ready, that makes you a terrible organization. And I don't think that'll happen. I feel fully confident they can get through this game with Malik Willis. Even if the center throws up on the ball, I think it'll be just fine. I don't think there's an issue there. But doing this, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? I think this is just smoke and mirrors from the team trying to maybe mess with teams this week or the next week.
I also don't want to be starting Willis if he cannot take the vitriol and the hate of it, that being his former team.
Oh, I
Like-
think he's good. I think that's the opposite.
Like the
Yeah,
whole
I think Willis is going to be okay. I mean, he's not the greatest, but in fantasy, even if they tell me Jordan Love is starting, not starting him. I don't
Nope.
care who my backup is. I'm starting the backup. I don't trust.
I need you to have fucking anger in your heart when you step on that fucking field.
I guarantee you Malik Willis has anger in his heart. I guarantee you he does. But Malik Willis,
Display it.
Malik Willis is probably keeping it cool and calm. Why? Because Malik Willis is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL right now, and that includes Andy Dalton. So doesn't matter if you're angry at your former team. You suck, bro.
He's not the shittiest if you ask Taco.
He's not the shitty. He's not the shitty because Andy Dalton is more shitty in my opinion.
Levis has had his moments, bro. It could be a shit off. No, I'm worse. No, I'm worse.
I'm gonna throw a pick.
This game is going to be called the greatest interceptions ever thrown. It'll be played on NFL Network for 20 years.
Not to mention the fumbles.
Gator, how do you feel?
Listen, we're talking about the Green Bay Packers organization with quarterbacks again. We've seen what they do with quarterbacks, right? They don't play their quarterbacks if they're hurt. They don't rush them onto the field. They don't do that. That's not how this organization is built. So if Green Bay is going to start him, then he's starting in my lineup. There are Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Anthony Richardson, Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, and probably Jared Goff are the only ones that I'm absolutely starting over top of Jordan Love if Jordan Love starts. That also brings in his wide receivers. I will then start them too in leagues, that whether I have Love or not. Now, if Love does not play, then of course I'm not playing the wide receivers either. I could see this being a little smoke and mirrors, like Jeff said, and maybe giving Malik a little, hey, don't have to worry about the media this week, being that it's the Titans. But why the hell is he in pads, and why the hell is he playing around on the field, and he's moving like he's fine? Maybe it's not as bad as we thought it was. Maybe it's not as bad as it was reported. But if Green Bay is comfortable, if Green Bay is comfortable with putting him on the field, we know how they are with quarterbacks. I'm putting him in my starting lineup. Like I said, there's only about 8-9 guys that I'm putting in ahead of him. I'm damn sure putting Jordan Love in. Period. The end.
Mike.
If I agree with Gator in the sense that if this team's going to play him, I'm starting him. But I'm in agreement that I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he's playing this week. I think he's going to be out. I think they're going to give him another week. I'm playing one player. I'm playing Jaden Reed no matter what, because I think they'll.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I'm at that point.
Obviously not as my WR2 or anything like that, but I'm still. I was helping.
You got to flex the fuck out of him because he had 5 points last week with goddamn Malik Willis.
Well, I had Ramondre Stevenson as my RB2 last night. Give me 0.7. I can deal with freaking Jaden Reed and the freaking ceiling chance. Okay,
that's not a ceiling. That's a fucking floor, dude. That's a floor.
Well, whatever. All right. I also had a shit. And here's another shameless plug, and I don't care. I also started a crappy player in week 2 in Scott Fishbowl, and I'm still 18th overall, motherfuckers. Let's go.
Hey, my Fishbowl team sucks.
Right. Mine is horrible.
So I am going to start. I'm lucky because I just have no injuries so far. I am going to knock on wood. I am going to start Jordan Love no matter what. If he is in the lineup, I just highly doubt he is in the lineup. Let's go.
I am going to fire out Jordan Love if they trot him out. I have an alarm set to wake up early Sunday. I'm already going to be up early Sunday. You guys should be up early Sunday with me for Rumboyz NFL AM, and then also NFL Rum Zone. But it's going to be lit. If Jordan Love is playing, I am going to start him up because I have him as my QB1 in my big league, and having to play Kirk Cousins this last week to just barely get that win by 2 points with a Drake London touchdown was too much of a nail biter. I like being a little bit more secure, and I think that Jordan Love gives me the best chance of being secure.
I will say this. I will add this as a caveat because it is Jordan Love, because it is a quarterback, because we're more than likely we're talking about one quarterback leagues when it comes to fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm hoping and praying that they do not wait till fucking the 11th hour to announce it, right? And I don't think they will because again, it's the Packers, but we've seen that already this year.
Luckily, it can happen at a drop of a dime to where I can sub Cousins.
I mean, it's a 1 o'clock game. I get it, but I don't want to be sitting there having to worry about
working my dick like fuck. Yeah,
correct,
I get it.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So hopefully the Packers do me right. Either start him or don't, and hopefully you let me know by tomorrow evening.
Right. Fucking facts. Let's get into our best bet. Give me your best bet, but then also give me a flex, a fantasy football flex.
Yeah, this doesn't mean a top 10 pick, Taco.
Whoa!
You've done that in the past.
Okay.
No, that's not me.
I mean, through week 2, through only 2 weeks of football, like you're probably gonna have like a Jaden Reed in your flex. You're probably gonna have a Dobbs. Like, there's gonna be certain names that you probably wouldn't normally, Like so yeah, this should be an interesting segment. I think we start with you, Mike.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out.
The spreads are crazy. I'm gonna say that.
I know.
The spreads
I'm ready.
Go, Taco.
All right, so my flex is because I have Debo hurt and Ingram hurt and Pacheco hurt. So I'm going with Tyler Johnson on volume appeal.
Deep in the bag.
Going for volume appeal here because Mike says, not top 10, so I had to flex on him, like flex, baby. You know what I mean? And then
my flex play is going to be chalk as hell. But go ahead.
And then my best bet is I'm going to tally my logic from last week. I'm taking the under and the Panthers Raiders game, and I couple that with the -6 on the Raiders. So I'd really take negative.
You really are an idiot.
Why?
Yeah.
The Raiders are gonna blow them out.
You're a fucking idiot. The Raiders are gonna do nothing but score. That's what
yeah, exactly. So I'm taking the Raiders. The Raiders -6.
The under's playable because the Raiders are gonna do all the work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I might start killing the clock at the end of the game, knowing Pierce. He might just say, "Fuck it, White. Just rack up the yards. Just get out of here. Let nobody get hurt, and just keep moving." And the under is popping right now.
Exactly. You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking
what? I've been winning mad money.
You're
with
a bandwagon. You're gonna follow everybody else's lead, and you're gonna jump off
what
that
do you
bridge.
Mean? You've been betting
Listen, when Jeff jumps off that bridge, Taco's right behind him. He's like, "I got your food."
Nah, man. I've been betting on. I've been posting it. I've been winning money. I'm up, baby.
Yes. No,
that is today.
Yes, Josh.
If that fucking game with the Eagles. Oh my god, I hit on the under in the Pittsburgh game. I hit on the under in the Chargers game. The under hit in the Bills game versus the Dolphins. The under hit in the Jets game.
Is scooping out fucking unders when the Panthers are playing. Jeff,
sorry, we're winning money.
All right, so I got Colts -1 against the Bears. I think it's a lock. I think Caleb is a disaster. That offense is a disaster. The Colts are going to find a way to get it out. Even with that good of a defense, -1 seems like too much. Even if this is a kicking game, like this, no, it's the Colts are going to win by, 6 to 8 points. This Caleb can't get it right, and he's not going to get it right this week. Colts are going to take an opportunity here. College pick Utah -1 against OK State. Battle of the Grandpas. 2 seventh-year starting quarterbacks. You have maybe the greatest running back in college football right here at OK State, but Utah is out for blood. If you watched them play Baylor last week, I'm 30% sure half of their team is still in the hospital.
Utah is out to make a statement against OK State. OK State also showed they don't have any playmakers outside of their run game. Plus side is Utah's big thing is their front seven. Whittingham will have his boys ready to play. And even if Rising isn't playing, Zach Wilson's little brother showed he can ball the fuck out. So -1 against OK State. Flex play should be the easiest flex play in fantasy right now. It's Brock Bowers against the Carolina Panthers.
Okay. Fire him up. I like that college play also being tossed in with the Gator.
Yeah, first of all, props to you, Jeff, for throwing the college in there because that's huge. I absolutely fucking love that. So I read this question completely wrong because it says, of course, best bet, and then give me a must start. So I didn't look at it as a flex. So I'll give you a flex plus a must start and a reason for that.
Do you think?
Okay, so I'm going to my flex play this week, and I'm going to go into a little bit of drop the mic here. And I think my flex play is going to be a guy that has not even got you a total of 5 points between the 2 weeks, but he's getting the targets, and now he's got a new quarterback, and that's Deontay Johnson. I think Johnson this week is the week you can put him in your flex, and let's see what's going to happen with a new quarterback. He must start for me. A guy that's 7 of 9, only got 9 targets on the year, but he's got 169 yards, 2 touchdowns already, 18.8 yards per target, 24 yards per catch, and that's Rashid Shaheed. We saw what the Falcons did against Philly. They absolutely torched them. Green Bay in week 1 absolutely torched them. Philly has given up 7 pass plays of 20-plus yards, 2 more of 40-plus yards. They average giving up 242 yards passing yards per game. Only 4 teams in the NFL give up more yards per game, and that's New England, Jacksonville, Kansas City, and Baltimore through the air. That is an absolutely insane number for me. So plug in Rashid Shaheed into your lineup this week, going up against that Philly hole-in-the-wall defense. Very much like Taco.
Someone called out Shaheed.
Yeah, very much like Taco. I took it as, let me build a parlay real quick. So on the same game that Taco was on, we did not do this on purpose. I am on the Raiders, given 6. I took Alexander Madison, anytime touchdown. Brock Bowers getting in the end zone this week. I called Garrett Wilson getting in last night. We're going to get Brock Bowers in the end zone this week. That is a plus 1,300 over there on DraftKings. Now, I also added
on the same game because I have a different flex. But
I'm on the over. I'm on the over. That one pays. So if you just take the Vegas given 6, Alexander Madison and Brock Bowers, that's going to pay you 1,300 plus 1,300. If you add the over, and this is where I'm saying you're a fucking idiot, Taco. The over right now is at 40. That pays you 1,900. You go to the under. The under is absolutely asinine. Goes up to fucking 5,000. You're a fucking idiot. This game is going on the over. Give me the over. We'll go to 1,300.
The reason why it does it is because of the things that you put in there. You have a bunch of touchdowns hitting plus the under. That probability is absolutely fucking nuts.
You're an over. You're an overachiever with an under. With a under bet.
Okay, we'll see next week.
What you got? I'm about to cook.
Hey. So give me a couple minutes, okay, and then you can cook. Just simmer down a little bit, and you'll go on medium heat.
Simmer down.
Go on medium heat for a few. Let the boil simmer, and then because I gotta give my buddy a hug over here. I gotta give this guy a hug because I was gonna bring up Rashid Shaheed. Also, Rashid Shaheed is one of the reasons I'm 18th place in Scott Fishbowl because he's on my roster. So I had to make a quick pivot, and one of the quick pivots that I'm making because of game script that I think is going to happen, a flex play that I want to put in, and I'm mainly talking about leagues that are deeper, unlike Tacos leagues, where you're playing, 2-3 flex. Yes, I know you're in 14.
You said you play fantasy football like a little bitch.
Deep is Johnson, man. 14% roster in Yahoo. How deep is Johnson? Where are you going below 14% roster in Yahoo, sir?
You know why I don't know the percentage? Because I don't play on Yahoo.
I have to go ahead.
I can look it up on Sleeper for you as
I'm
well.
starting Greg freaking the Torch Dortch
Dorchland
against Detroit. Because Jeff's number 2 team with the jersey that he's wearing is going to throw the ball a lot, because I think that Connor's not going to have a great game. He's going to have to get out the ball quick, but Dortch is going to be involved. Another guy that I would start.
Damn Illinois.
Against the Kansas City Chiefs, Ray McLeod.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't mind that pick. I don't mind that.
Even though it's my team, I have to say it. And my bet of the week, let me get back to it because I forgot it, because I might have had a little too much ego.
Yo, I took the Gator and Taco approach, and I built this bitch like a parlay, dog. because like doing this as an exercise, but also who?
Well, I feel like Jeff took it and took it into a parlay. He had like 74 different college bets. There were NFL bet in there. We don't even remember what the NFL bet was, because we were all like, "This motherfucker built a college."
This motherfucker.
Last week I got killed and told me only one.
Imagine that.
Only one taco.
I am taking.
I got some shit.
I'm taking the points. This is on the spread. This is not a money line bet. But if they're at home in a division matchup, and I don't care if it's I don't care if they're injured up the yin yang. And when I say the yin yang, I might be driving down to LA to play. They're that crazy in the yin yang. I'm taking the Rams plus 6.5.
Okay. The Rams are covered with that fucking ER room is wild. I'm with the shits.
Let's go.
We're here for a good time, not a
George Kittle will
time,
not
you know what
play.
I'm saying? All right.
And no Debo. Damn.
I am going to start with my college play. Jeff threw in that college play, and I was like, oh, we're going to get kinky with it. All right. Fuck it.
Damn it. I got to cook up a college play. Fuck.
I only got one.
I thought that's what we were doing, because that's what we did 2 weeks ago. We did one college, one NFL.
On the
separate
on the sheet, it said that this time.
I'm
this
going
time
with, as a Virginian, I'm going with my homies in the state over, okay? We're going to visit over the good old hometown of country music. Long live cowgirls, never gonna settle on down, girl. We taking it to Tennessee by 7, baby. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Tennessee by 7. Fuck Oklahoma. Y'all know that I wasn't gonna ride with Oklahoma. As soon as that game came up and I saw, I was like, oh, bet. Like, I could easily take Virginia Tech and just ride with home. But I was like, Tennessee over Oklahoma is so much more fun. And Tennessee is tearing shit up this year.
And it's the Josh Heupel revenge game.
Exactly. So I'm like, let's ride the fucking narrative, boys. Only money line, best bet for the NFL. The boys gave y'all spreads. They gave you over unders. I'm gonna give you a money line. I need everybody to bolt the fuck up. We are riding the Chargers at a plus 130 on a Friday night.
Ooh.
On the money line over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Let me ask you this. What about if Herbert's
out, we are treating this as if Herbert is playing.
I know.
Yeah. So that does come with a caveat. I have 2 flex plays, and they coincidentally end up in both the games that a lot of the boys were already hitting on.
Is one a wide receiver in powder blue?
One's a wide receiver in red. What? Red. Give me Xavier Worthy as a flex play. I am rocking out with Xavier Worthy this week for damn sure.
It's pretty shocking.
I said one of his was going to be chalk. I said that one was going to be chalk. I did want to go with Juwan Jennings, but I feel like you guys already know to play Juwan Jennings because none of his fucking receivers are there. So I am going with Xavier Worthy. My other one. My other one. Okay, and I actually have both of these guys as a parlay. I have Xavier Worthy anytime touchdown. I do believe that this person is going to hit an anytime touchdown and is also a fantasy football flex play. And that is Alexander Madison.
Alexander Madison.
Alexander
That was
Madison.
anytime touchdown. We in now.
Plus 230. Anytime TD. He's getting the work in the rum zone. And it's not Zamir White. I'm with the shits. If they are down in the rum zone, they are down at the goal line. If it's first and goal, hey, Madison, lower your shoulder, put it through a motherfucker's face, and go score you 6. And then give me 6 in return. Let's get it. Yes, Alec Pierce is a thing. For the question in the chat, Alec Pierce is a thing. It's okay. I've accepted it. I'm okay with it.
I have not accepted it, but I need to.
All right, so I'm gonna throw this at you. Just because the fucking points are stupid, ridiculous. Give me Portland State getting 41.5 over Boise State. I mean, that's just fucking stupid. There's
what?
Boise State has arguably the Heisman Trophy winner.
I don't even care. 41.5 is stupid.
No, 41.5. I'd still take.
No, Nebraska's about to shit the fucking bed.
Yeah, Dylan Royal is throwing this game away. I mean, so 41 is a lot. Portland State, arguably one of the best FCS schools out there. When you look at some of the other ones, Boise State's out there to make a statement. You know, they just got hooked up with the Pac-12 to trying to make that whole new thing again. I think Boise can cover this spread. I don't think it would be that difficult for Boise to cover this spread. I do love large spreads in college football. Like, when Tennessee played Kent State last week, or, it was like 47.5 or whatever, they covered. I love that shit. That shit's great. I also like taking it the other way because you're like, there's no way this is happening. Like when Georgia was like 37 over Kentucky and they fucking won by 3.
Right, exactly. And I had that one called. I called the fuck out of that one. The fucking over-under is 69.
Yeah, no, I would probably take the over on that. I could see Boise State
take the over and get 41.5. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can. I still think Boise covers, but I would take the over. I could easily see Boise State dropping 60.
Nebraska just recovered a fumble.
Yeah, so I just wanted to throw that at you. I love looking at these big numbers. There's 2 of them that I've been proud of. I called the Oregon going into Ohio State a couple years ago, and then I called the Kentucky Georgia game last week. So the big fucking spreads. I kind of look at it. I kind of when it comes to college, you see a lot more bigger spreads in college, of course, but I kind of look at what the spread is. So like this at 41.5, and then my eye automatically goes right to what's the over under. If the over under was like 71, I think that's an automatic smash.
Trade Marvin Harrison Jr. And Jalen Warren for Jamar Chase.
I think there is definitely a big spread when you're talking about college football that I would play the other side on.
Customer first.
Well, we were in the conversation already. You threw this up there, so it's kind of.
I know.
We weren't even looking for this, but go ahead.
Marvin Harrison Jr. or Jalen Warren and Jalen Warren for Jamar Chase.
Dynasty or not? Because that completely changes my answer.
Redraft.
I'm sticking with Marvin Harrison over Jamar Chase right now.
I'm sticking with Marvin Harrison right now.
Cincinnati is shit. I think Joe Burrow is still hurt. You see him shaking his hands on the sideline. Who?
I'm sticking with Marvin Harrison and Jalen Warren for now.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind moving Jalen Warren for
redraft. So yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind moving Jalen Warren for a different flex. But I mean, if you can't get better, then you can't get better. It is what it is. Me and Gator had a very long conversation about that yesterday. Really quick, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This has been Rumboyz After Dark. Make sure that you like, make sure that you comment, make sure that you subscribe. We do want to take this plaque. We want to turn this into a silver play button, okay? Not only would I get a silver play button, but the whole cast that you are looking at would also get a silver play button. And wouldn't that look so fucking sweet behind every single one of them? I'm sure it would. All right. So make sure you support your favorite independent fantasy football and NFL analyst right here on the Rumboyz Fantasy Network by giving us a like, giving us a comment, giving us a subscribe, and also sharing the content. Okay. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the Rumboyz and girls want to do. And oh my God, Nebraska did not just complete that for a fucking first down. Dilly. We're out of here.
Dilly, y'all.